हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, पंचांग प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा टू ऑल द assembled devotees।
Hi Krishna, my apologies, I'm late. So
Hare Krishna.
I'm sorry, I'm late. Kind of make it on time. Okay, Hare Krishna. ज्ञानस्यमनन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीकृष्ण All right, so where were we? We were on verse number
13.
We have to
Yeah.
start from 13.
Wait. Yeah, it was 11 and 12 we read together. And then now, so where is the devotee from, what's the name of the devotee from Karachi? Forgot her name. H starts with
Harshika Mataji.
Harshika. Yeah, where is she? She's not here? Okay. Okay, who would like to volunteer? The Nishtamaji would like to continue or like have a volunteer? Or Nishta would like to continue. Okay, fair enough. All right, so be it. Yes. What am I sharing? All right. So now we are into the nitty-gritties of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, this is the even amongst the Ashtanga Yoga. Oh, okay. Even amongst this, yesterday we were discussing about the background what is required, like the environment. Now this is what is specifically the part of Ashtanga Yoga which is more rigidly called Hatha Yoga. Okay, this is called Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga also has got a meaning. Ha stands for something and Ta stands for something. I'm not able to recall that, but like it also has got their own handbooks that is called Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So this is specifically rigid Hatha Yoga. Okay, read on. 13 and 14, please read on.
One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
Yes. So now this is what it is. Okay. So the next these verses, now we are getting into like what kind of life. This is basically, the do's and don'ts. Like what we call the yama and niyama, the do's and don'ts of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. You see, these are the do's. What you need to do. One should hold this. Okay. And these are the don'ts, devoid, unagitated. What to speak of sex life? Come on. Okay. One should meditate upon me. Okay. So that's what it is. So this the first verse is because you see 13 and 14. 13 talks about the do's and 14 talks about the don'ts. Okay. So these are the do's and don'ts of what you call yama niyama. This is now because the Ashtanga Yoga has started. It starts from Yama, Niyama, Dhyan, Dharan, Pratyahar, Samadhi. We'll come to that. Okay. We'll find all the 8. Must be there somewhere. Here, of course, Prabhupada is very much focusing in the purport on what is the, let's see if I can find the all the 8 aspects. Business. Anyway, Prabhupada's basically for, yes, Dayamaji, go on. I've just started. Go on. Open your microphone. Wait. Let's see. Yeah, go
Krishna,
on.
Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
In purport, Vigata Bilho. What is the
Bhaya.
meaning that Bhaya?
Vigata Bhaya means, yeah, Bhaya. Vigata Bhaya means like freedom from fear. A person who is like fearful, so he cannot pursue the spiritual life actually. It is in fact even in Krishna consciousness, this is one of the in the items, 20 items of devotional service. This is the first one, abhayam. So not to be afraid, and one can only be abhayam. Not, see, it has never been said that somebody who is a kshatriya can be abhayam. Okay, it's only a person who has got complete trust in the protection of Krishna can be abhayam. One who feels that, not feels, one who is convinced that Krishna is my like protector. Who's protector, by the way? Who am I?
Soul.
That's all. So what is the kind of protection the soul wants? Soul cannot be killed, you see?
Mm.
You see? So then that means the protection one is looking for is not from freedom from killing. Cannot be
No.
killed anyways. The only protection the soul can aspire for or would be like always looking for, because the soul will be dreaded because of that, for want of that, is descending into the lower species of life. You see? So that's like see, as soon as you slip from this idea that whether I am the body or the soul, everything changes. Everything changes. The concept of me changes, the concept of my like freedom, concept of my needs, wants, everything changes. So here in this case, I know I am spirit soul, so I cannot be cut, burned, dried, all of these things, but I can certainly be thrown into an abominable position, and which creates more distance between me and Krishna. That the soul would want to avoid at all cost. Whereas when I am the body, then I'm thinking something else. Abhayam means let me not be devoured by the tiger. Let me not, let me not be murdered or something, or this or that. So the entire concept changes. That's why. Good. It's a very good question. Actually, it looks very elementary, but actually that's the most advanced of the questions you could like. Yeah. Thank you, Dayamaji, for asking that. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
Nishtamaji. Okay, Nishtamaji. Yes, go. Nishtamaji, is a question or like?
So it's a question. How do we have to understand this me over here? Because yesterday we discussed when we reach to the higher level of any of the yogas, there we are going towards Bhakti Yoga. Now we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga, so the person is practicing it. So this me, how are we supposed to take it?
Which, I'm sorry, I'm escaping the word. Means or need?
Me. This me, make me
Yeah. Yeah. So see, that's again in Ashtanga Yoga. We are fighting, because here we are using all of that. You see, fixing the mind on the supreme, then gradually we come to that platform of self-realization. In Ashtanga Yoga, you see the limit of that will go to Paramatma realization. So it's, see, all of the yogas except, including Bhakti Yoga, in the beginning, like we are starting with this premise that we are the bodies. So it's not really that I'm trying to escape myself. It's actually I want to reach somewhere. So in Dhyana Yoga or Jnana Yoga, like it is the Brahma where we want to reach. And during the yatra, I get to understand that like who am I? It's not in the beginning. In Bhakti Yoga also it's the same thing. But like because Bhakti Yoga, because there in from the beginning, the idea is not of liberation, but of service. So it always takes two to serve. One has to be a servitor and one has to be the servant. So, like the other has to be the servant. I mean, so then therefore that doesn't so much come in the way for the practice, but still, then in the like as you advance, you understand that in order to serve the fire, I have to become fiery. So then I must regain my spiritual identity. That's where like the Bhakti Yoga is like a little easy in that sense. Because there are a clear distinction between God and the Jiva and things like that. It's still easy. Because in Gyan Marga, you get the Brahma, but you don't know what you are supposed to do. All you are doing is to, like all your efforts are there to reach to the level of the level of Brahma. Once you are done, then you don't know what to do. But the real service, when we talk about service, the real service starts after liberation in Bhakti Yoga. Before Bhakti, before liberation, it is only the practice of service. There's no real service. The real service starts after liberation. So therefore, it's like, yeah. That's why you see in one purport, yeah, I think again in the first canto purport, Prabhupada says that bhakti is a post-liberated activity. So that's how it is. Okay, good. So with this, let's move on, and I'll in the meantime I'll try to find all the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. So what Prabhupada is but Prabhupada is focusing very much on this purport, although Dayamaji focused on the Vigata and that brought up this other part. Here, Prabhupada is very much focusing on the fact that who is the object of meditation? Or is the object of it? Time and again, Prabhupada is pushing that. The object of meditation has to be Vishnu Murti. That's why it's like it's Paramatma. Otherwise, without this, one cannot move beyond Brahma. Even the Ashtanga Yogi cannot move beyond Brahma. Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu, please go on, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita 5.27 and 28 has been mentioned. Eightfold procedure called Ashtanga Yoga. It's Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharan, Dhyan, and Samadhi. Yes.
So then we have it. Thank you. Thank you for that help. I was just thinking where should I go in the purports to figure that out.
It's a question of, it's a part of CBA as well, Prabhuji.
This is it. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. You say this. So what we are discussing now, these verses are Yam and Niyam only. We haven't gone beyond that. Okay. Then comes pranayam. When like it's talking about the breath control, then is the pranayam. Then the pratyahar will come. The pratyahar is also one of your CBA questions. What does pratyahar means? Withdrawing the mind from the sense objects. So that is the pratyahar thing. After we can do that, then it is dharana. So just like we use the word dharana in English, in Hindi, dharana. Like it's dharana. In Bangla also they use dharana. But actually dharana means like, like trying to first conceive the Vishnu Murti. There is dhyan, that means extended periods of meditation. Dharana and dhyan. Dhyan is like now you are fixed on the Vishnu Murti. There you are conceiving the Vishnu Murti. Then after extended like long years or sometimes maybe even births, after births, one comes to the position of samadhi. Just a long process. Generally, when they used to do this Ashtanga yoga in Satya Yoga, so they would generally achieve the target in one lifetime. Generally. Sometimes it may be more than. But that doesn't mean that this process of Ashtanga Yoga stopped after Satya Yoga. The process of Ashtanga Yoga continues to this very day. But then you can understand that something which is like, see, for Satya Yoga, that means for every human being, it was possible. And they used to do it. And you have to understand what is the Satya Yoga. The general populace was not even like, they were even on a higher standard than average Varnashram. For the simple fact, you will see when you will come to Bhagavatam, then in Satya Yoga, they were not following Varnashram. There was something called Varnashram, as we discussed that Varna has to be there in order for creation to occur. But they were not so much like strictly adhering to the principles in the sense of Varnashram because they were already situated above Varnashram. So in Satya Yoga, they used to call the society Hamsa. So we know Paramahamsa, right? So when you attain Samadhi, you are Paramahamsa. So you are already on the stage of Hamsa. General population. It's only from the start of Treta that the Varnashrama came into force. It was there, as I said, even in the Satya Yoga, but it came into force at the start of Treta. So people were still very much capable of performing Ashtanga Yoga. Up till even Dwapara, they were performing Ashtanga Yoga. It's not that they were not performing Ashtanga Yoga. But like, so it was like decreasing. The number of people who could do that was decreasing, far more decreasing. So it's like that. So now in Kali Yoga, it's just, I would only say that only those people who may have, the remnants of those people who tried Ashtanga Yoga, and maybe the last vestiges are there. They are the only ones who might be successful if they perform Ashtanga Yoga. Other like people who have never tried that in their previous lives and don't have that samskara, better not try this. It's just simply waste of time for them. So anyway, so here we are, 13, 14. Now we can come back to verse number 15. Go on. Mr. Maji.
Thus, practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God, or the abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence.
So you see, practicing constant control of the body. That's why the larger part. See, even in the Ashtanga Yoga, you go back to the Ashtanga Yoga. I'll repeatedly go on referring this so that it becomes a little easier, more understandable. See, most of the time, or say the chunk of the practice is taken by this. This part. This first 5 part, they take the chunk of the time. It's just like you call on Bhakti Yoga, the chunk of the practice, like start from Shraddha to Nishtha. It takes the chunk of the time. So on Nishtha onwards and Ruchi, Asakti, like it's like it's like a downward slope. This is like an uphill climb. Even in the Ashtanga Yoga, this is the uphill climb. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar. These are uphill climb. Yes. Just like in the asana, so far I remember, it's like more than around 3,000 asanas, which have been demonstrated by Lord Shiva. Okay. So like that many kind of asanas. Okay. So certainly you can understand to master those asanas, it will require time. Why are they doing this Vyam, Niyam and asana and pranayam? See, the thing what Prabhupada is, not what Krishna is saying here. Come back here. Control of the body, mind and activities is just for these things. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam and Pratyahar. Without do's and don'ts, there's no question of doing an asana to control the body. So the do's and don'ts are there to control the body and the mind, and then the asanas are there to regulate the body. Then there is the pranayam to regulate the breath control. Then there is pratyahar, to control the mind. So whatever like we have, the soul has as the body as the vehicle. So it's completely controlling that. So now after the body is not gonna, the body and the mind is not gonna come in the way of my practice. Then the soul can be released as like the day from from the lowest chakras gradually to the upper chakras till it comes to the highest chakra, which is the crown chakra, Sahasrara. And then the soul is in control within the body. There are like, of course, the body is not the gross body, remember all the time. That's why even in the beginning I said, whenever we're talking about the body in spiritual life, it's generally subtle body. Generally subtle body. Within the subtle body, there are even this control, they get, what do you call that? In the chakras, they get what you call nadi. Nadi doesn't mean this veins. It's not like not the veins. These nadis are in the subtle body. These nadis become like pathways to different planetary systems. So in all those nadis, there are specific nadi
Meridians.
where, pardon?
Meridians, Prabhuji.
Yeah, meridians. Meridians. The meridians, like that's the term now they have come up with. But actually it's just basically what we call in the yoga system, the nadis. And then they come up with that. There are specific paths, like with each, the soul, by following that path is like, how to say that? It's just like a mirror to the path which is there in the cosmic world also. Creation. It's complicated. It's a complicated science, but the science is not, it's not basically read. It's found out, you know. That's what makes it ascending. You're finding out on their own because no book will be able to, delineate that here is the meridian, here is the nadi. You can only find that out after the body has been stilled. The gross body and the subtle body has been stilled, and the soul is now freeing itself from within the body. So it can start moving up to the higher consciousnesses. There he finds those paths. So then the soul, if the soul is concentrated on the Vishnu Murti, so then it can go to the highest. If it doesn't find, then relatively lower, then he can find the Brahma. Okay. And in such case, the soul, when he is perfect, that he knows that he can go, then he leaves the body either through the Sahasrara chakra or basically through mouth, either of these two things. Okay, they will do that. And as a result of that, it will reach the Brahma destination. Okay. But at the same time, if that time he is contacting again bhakti, so then he will turn and that whole attention will go towards going to Vaikuntha. Same process. Otherwise, it's Brahma, or even lower, then you go to the higher planetary system, starts with the moon. The lowest, like if the yogi is able to, this Ashtanga yogi is like you will consider minimum level of expertise is if he can reach the lunar scale. Higher than the lunar is the solar. Higher than the solar is the heavenly planets. Higher than the heavenly planets is Tapo, Jana up to Satya, Mahar, okay, these kind of things. So these are like different levels the yogi can ascend to. That's it. But no one goes to Golo, no one goes to Vaikuntha unless and until there's a touch of bhakti. That's what it is. Jyoti Maji, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Mrs. Maji.
Prabhuji, how it is like in yoga, in yogi, how you were describing just now. So initially, when they have Brahman realization as a ray of light, and the topmost when they have when they have Bhagwan realization,
They
and
don't,
also
they don't. Yogi cannot have Bhagwan realization. He can maximum have Paramatma realization. Paramatmena,
okay,
that's given in the start. Yeah.
okay.
He cannot have
So
Bhagwan realization. Without
uh,
bhakti, you cannot.
okay, so in that book, in the handbook, it was given no that after Paramatma they have Bhagwan, like that arrow is there from.
Yeah, that's there, but he doesn't go. Bhakti, wait. Yeah, that's there. Where is our handbook? Here is our handbook. See?
Yes,
So there's no Bhagwan realization unless it is this bhakti.
okay. So in Paramatma realization, that is what kind of realization means exactly?
Yeah, it's a good question. Paramatma realization is the doorstep where you get attracted by the form of Shirodakshai Vishnu. Okay. So that
Okay,
Paramatma realization of Shirodakshai Vishnu doesn't have a planet.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
One has to understand that is the difference between Narayan and Vishnu here.
Mhm.
Either you are attracted by Paramatma, or you are attracted by Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Paramatma being the Shirodakshay or being Mahavishnu. It's like like it's not really you are like going for the Vaikuntha because that's Narayan.
Yes,
The term Vishnu comes into being when there's like creation. It's for the purpose of creation. So then that's why you can at most go to that end where the creation begins. And the creation begins with Vishnu. So
yes,
if you go beyond creation, you have to take the path which is coming from beyond creation.
yes, yes,
The path
Prabhuji,
that is coming from beyond creation is bhakti.
is bhakti.
Because unless and until there's creation, there's no need for Jnana Yoga, there's no need for Dhyan Yoga, there's need for Ashtanga Yoga. But even if there's no creation, bhakti is going on in the spiritual world always. So,
Uh, And when we say Narayan,
Yes.
that exactly refers to
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha.
Four form, yeah, because Narayan means either it is Vasudev, it is Aniruddha, it's Pradyumna, it's Sankarsana, that those are the things. These are like
Teachings
you will
of
get those things in Bhagavatam.
like in teachings of Lord Chaitanya, how it is mentioned that
Yes.
uh,
First quadruple, second quadruple, it's like that. Chaturvyuha.
huh,
These are
yeah.
part of, yeah, is a part of the expansions in the spiritual world.
So it does
None of
not.
the material world.
Okay, so it does not refer to Krishna. Narayan, the word Narayan does not
Narayan
refer
is
to
coming
Krishna,
like Narayan expanding from Krishna. See,
expanding
what is
from
the
Krishna.
from Krishna? See, what is the meaning of the word Narayan? Nara Ayana, the
Hmm.
shelter of Nara.
Hmm.
The shelter of Nara is Narayan, the who gives shelter to Nara. The shelter of the Jiva souls is Narayan. That's the idea. Whereas Vishnu means the person who is Vishveti Shijayati Palayati Itimcha Vishnu. The person who is creating and who is maintaining the creation is Vishnu. So the Narayan that is goes beyond that. See, both Vishnu, Narayan, they look same.
Hmm.
They look same, but
Uh-huh.
they have got different functions. Yeah,
Okay.
different
And
functions.
one more question I had was
Mhm.
when like in the old like in Satyuga and like how we see the Rishi Munis, they used to travel. They used to travel to Vaikuntha, and they used to travel to Vishnu, and they also
Yeah,
even there are different
Vishnu, Vishnu,
stories.
not Narayan.
Yes. Yeah. So those Rishi Munis, they would be considered as uh, uh, Dhyan yogis, or they would be considered as Bhakti yogis.
The Ashtanga yogis.
They are Ashtanga
Yeah,
yogis.
yogis. Yeah. Just like you see this case of Durvasa Muni.
Hmm.
It goes to the Vaikuntha. So what is the Vaikuntha? The Vaikuntha of this planet, where Vishnu stays. See the place where Vishnu stays, what would you call it? Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha.
That is not the Vaikuntha what we are talking about when we are talking about Bhakti Yoga. That means beyond the material world, beyond our
Hmm.
creation. You see? So the Ashtanga Yogi can go there, but he cannot stay there.
Yeah. But they won't go till Krishna. Ah.
Krishna, forget
Yes.
it. Even the
Yes.
Vishnu, you go to Garbhodaksha Vishnu, you cannot stay there.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
you can only go to up to Shiradaksha Vishnu. When Brahma wants to approach Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he goes till the end of the Shira casual ocean, the milk ocean. And then everybody prays, and then they wait, and then Garbhodaksha Vishnu appears. Even Garbhodaksha Vishnu is beyond the reach of all the Ashtanga yogis. Only the Shirodaksha Vishnu is the maximum reach of the Ashtanga Yogi. That would be what we will call the most successful Ashtanga Yogi who can reach up till the Shirodaksha Vishnu.
Okay.
It's just that's how it works. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
It may be too much for Daya. Don't feel overburdened. Might fly over your little head. Don't feel overburdened. On go due course of time, we'll get to know these things. Don't worry about it. These are like, like we are like what we call, I can say that just like the only thing, like Purane Papi. So it's just like, don't worry
I
about
was
it.
getting all whatever discussed.
Yeah, forget it. Don't just concentrate on the
I
Bhagavad
have
Gita.
to get the knowledge, not forget.
Yeah, it's like certain things. See what happens at certain point in time, you get to hear many things and you don't get the hang of anything. But it's only after a point in time, it's just like a jigsaw puzzle, things starts making sense. It's like that. Harshika Maji, welcome. I was just inquiring about you. I was just wondering if you would like to read today, but anyways, Nishta Maji is continuing on your behalf. All right.
I,
I hope like, yeah, please go on.
Prabhuji, like if the Ashtanga yogi, what the power he has? He has go to Vaikuntha or not?
He can, it's just like this is the zenith of Ashtanga Yoga. But that Vaikuntha is not a spiritual world as we understand it. It's the place where there are three kinds of Vishnus. Okay. So one of the Vishnus who stays in like who is also known as Paramatma.
Stay
So
in a
he
heart.
can, yeah, so he can go up till that. So he has also got a localized location, which is also called Vaikuntha. But the Vaikuntha that we are generally mention when you read those books, our books, is beyond the material world, in the spiritual world. Vaikuntha is a spiritual planet. Okay, it's like a spiritual planet. So this Vaikuntha, what we are talking about, there are like we have made kind of very rudimentary diagrams. You can find those things. They're very rudimentary. You cannot, you cannot actually, it's impossible. You can like you would like actually agree and would actually sympathize with us when we are trying to explain that is like this is multidimensional. We generally are accustomed to deal with three dimensions. Now you go to quantum physics, we go to fourth dimension or maybe maximum five dimensions. How many dimensions have they come up with? You see? But like when we are talking about these things, they are like multidimensional. So that's why it is impossible to make a diagram in a 2D. Yeah, in it because diagram is 2D. It's only two dimensional. So it's just a very rough sketch. The idea is to just give an impression what happens, like say for example, uh, there's a material world, there's a spiritual world. In the material world, there's a part where Vishnu lives. It's just you'll get the hang of it in due course of time. Don't worry about it. Okay, you get the hang of it. It's just like, I mean, when there are question and answers, so then I cannot escape that. I'll have to answer that as much as I can. So, okay.
Prabhuji, the last thing. If someone is Ashtanga yogi and he taking the birth of demigods can do bhakti, or if is it necessary to
Sure.
take human,
Sure.
then
Sure.
attain Goloka.
All the demigods are bhaktas. All the demigods are bhaktas. But the only challenge there is to do pure bhakti. You know, human birth is more conducive for pure bhakti because there is a sense of distress. Human birth is full of distress also. But but in demigods, in the heavenly planets, the sense of distress is very less. So when the sense of distress is less, there is this tendency to basically enjoy and not to move towards. Bhakti is there because they're by nature pious. Demigods are by nature pious because they are generally like born, they're like all born in Sattva Guna. So all the demigods are devotees of Vishnu. But the devotees of Vishnu, they are generally mixed. There are pure devotees of Vishnu also in demigods, no doubt about it. Okay. But like the ratio is like, as you would think, that should be higher. Like it's in contrast, yeah, uh, in contrast, it's actually lower. Should be higher, but generally. So that's why it's not very much advisable that a sadhaka aspires to become a demigod, because then that thing is there that you would like to enjoy, might not want to go. So things are there. But otherwise, demigods have got a very good prospect to do bhakti. They've got all the things in place. You see, you are in a place where you are often visited by Narad Muni. What else are you looking for? You are visited by all these great sages. You see? So it's a very, very good scenario, but it's just like, you miss the bus kind of thing. Okay. So yeah. You cannot say that demigods cannot do. Yeah. Jyoti Maji, I need to move. and I need to finish this chapter. Okay, which I will.
Prabhuji, just last thing which you told just now from that actually that I was not able to understand one thing like like human life is conducive to pure bhakti, right? As compared to
Because of the existence of so many troubles.
troubles. But like the demigods, they are living in such higher realms. Like all the things, the concepts which we think, process, and try to understand, and all the emotions which we try to understand, they are so higher intellectual beings. So, what just going on in my mind was they will be able to understand it much better, no, than us. All these
Certainly.
things, concepts.
Certainly. Certainly. That's why I said it is actually very easy from there.
Yes,
But you
yes,
miss the bus, that's the problem then.
yes, yes,
So
yes,
I cannot say that like the demigods are doomed not to do bhakti. That's not
yes,
that.
yes,
Like some people think
yeah,
like that, oh, demigods don't do bhakti. What do you mean by don't do bhakti? If they're not
yes,
bhaktas, how are they demigods in the first place?
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But then you like, like going till the end, that
Yes, yes,
requires
yes,
that push. Requires
yes.
that push.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we won't be stopping until just like the demigods. Okay, we won't be stopping till we reach verse number 27. Where are we? I'll, I'll, yeah, I'll make slight comments and then we'll move. Okay, this one, read this. You see?
There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough.
That's the balance. You will see the same kind of verse for the devotees also. Okay, the control. What is that? Yukta ahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmasya yukta sapna avabodh cheshtasya sapna bodhasya yogi bhavati dukkha. That's for the devotees. Here, aha, you see, yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasya yukta sapna bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. I said that. Okay, read on.
He who is regulated in his in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
See? Material pains. What are we all so much concerned with, and we are all afflicted by? Discipline can mitigate all material pains. Basic discipline, eating in discipline in the manner of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. Discipline can mitigate. Dukkha means to kill. Ha means to kill. Diminishing pains. You see, Prabhupada is writing. Dukkha, diminishing pains. Okay. Go on.
When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga.
You see, yesterday we were talking about yoga ruruksha and yoga ruda. So this is well established means yoga ruda, and this is means yoga ruruksha. Okay, sadhak, and the sadhak is becoming stabilized. Okay, you see, yukta iti yuchyate, tada, yukta iti yuchyate. And he is yukta. Now he's fixed. Now is fixed. Okay, go on.
As a lamp in the windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendent self.
So this is like that, like one of your uh, analogies. One of your analogies. So the transcendentalist mind is controlled, remained always steady. So what is steady? The mind is steady now. The mind is steady. It's like a vicious fight after which the mind becomes steady. Very vicious fight. Okay. Very extremely high level of control over one's body and then mind. It's like the stage of pratyahar here. Okay. On. 4 verses. Go on. You see? Now it is coming. You see, after pratyahar. Go on.
In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact.
So you see, there are like, let's break it down. Let's break it down a little because there are 4 verses. It is actual freedom from all miseries. That means what? He has been liberated. Okay. What's going on here? See, he is relishing and rejoicing in the self. Okay. It is not still, he is not still, he's there still to realize Paramatma. Still to realize Paramatma. Okay. And this is where sometimes the yogi, he fizzles out. This is the place. Why? Because he is writing, Prabhupada is writing, or Krishna is just telling. Upon him, he thinks there is no greater gain. Why does he think that there is no greater gain? Why do you think Prabhupada is written like that, or Krishna is saying like that? He thinks if there is no greater gain, there is no greater gain. See, okay, Shubham Prabhu, go on.
Prabhuji, because he's somewhere following the principles of Gyan Yoga. That's why he's thinking.
Yes, actually, see, uh, read this, the same sentence.
Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, there is no greater gain.
Okay, now read this. Same thing.
Same thing.
No,
Established,
read. Mhm.
established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain.
There is no greater gain, and he thinks there is no greater gain. You see? Because he's thinking that there is no greater gain. He doesn't know. Dayamaji, go on.
I was about to say he thinks he can be wrong because he thinks.
Yes, he can be wrong. Actually, he is wrong. He hasn't met Paramatma yet. So this is one of those tripwires. You see? One of the tripwires. If he doesn't, and he sees the Paramatma at this point in time, he thinks he's seeing himself. This is the time where he can confuse the self with the Paramatma. This is the last snare. Tripwire is the last snare, the last test, where the yogi, the individual yogi, the soul, he can misconceive himself as the super soul. It is here he has to be like very careful. Because see, in a very simpler way, I'm trying to explain, as simple as that. It doesn't work exactly like that, but just to make matters simple, if okay, I am seeing Krishna Kanai. Okay. So Krishna Kanai, if I am seeing Krishna Kanai, then I have to be different from Krishna Kanai. How can I see myself in that sense? The seer and the seen has to be different, right? So it's like that. It is something like that, not like that. That's not that the yogi is that foolish. A person who has realized the self, who has realized Brahma, he cannot even differentiate between this and that. But there, that kind of confusion is on a very higher level. It can happen if you don't have, that's the idea, you don't have the blessings of the Paramatma, don't have the tinge of bhakti in you. You can fall into that trap. That's what like the difference is. All right, let's move on. That's just a, that's just a very crude example. Don't take it as it happens like that. What happens there? I don't know. I haven't reached there. Okay. Don't take my words like in the prima facie value. All right. Okay. Let me see. Prabhupada is using Arva Krachena somewhere. No, he's not using. He's using Bhagavatam, but not the Arva Krachena. But he does use another one, which is very important. You see, he's using this verse. Swarupena Vyavasthiti. This is the definition of Swarup Siddhi according to Bhagavatam, which is like for the devotees. So anyway, you see, here it is talking about, Prabhupada is talking about after Nirvana starts devotional service. You see, that's why I said that Bhakti is a post-liberated activity. I was just quoting Prabhupada. Gayama, go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the above paragraph that this Shitti Shakti or eternal, that's all like, I don't get this all.
Yeah, this is like when you are, Prabhupada is talking in terms or the parlance which the yogis use. This language is not very much familiar to you because generally this is not the language generally we use. This is the language generally the yogis use. This Ashtanga, because if you are explaining a path, then you have generally this, you will be using the same parlance, you see. So this is Yoga Sutra. It is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, where Prabhupada is quoting Patanjali and is saying, Purushartha Shunyanam. So you are devoid of Purushartha. Purushartha means Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Shunya. Okay. Gunanam. You are free from the gunas. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Free. Prati Prasava. So Prati Prasava means Prasava, like that means the birth. Prati Prasava. Going beyond the idea of birth and death. Kaivalyam, Mukti. Okay, Kaivalyam means Mukti or liberation. This is the Kaivalyam. What is the Kaivalyam? Swarupa Pratishtha Va Chiti Shakyarati. So you are established in the Swarupa. And that is called Chit Shakti. Chit Shakti means spiritual energy. Spiritual energy. It's like Sat Chit Ananda. Cheta means the Chit potency or the knowledge potency, the spiritual knowledge. That means you are in complete knowledge of your identity.
Self.
The identity, yeah, identity, the self, the identity. So this Chit Shakti, you see, internal potency. Purusha, you see, everything Prabhupada is saying.
Prabhuji, in the same paragraph, Kaivalam and
Yes.
Cheto Darpana Marjanam.
Yes, this
Are
later
these
on.
same or
No,
different?
they're different. Of course, they are different. Cheta Darpana Marjanam is how this is the see here, Prabhupada, see, according to Patanjali, Prabhupada is saying what it is, and in the word of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is like this. You see? So they're like different languages being used. One, when we are talking about how Patanjali sees this and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains this. It's just like the same thing explained in different way. Actually, it's not the same thing, it's actually different because here you're going for much higher thing, going for the bhakti. They're like, you see 4.34 Yoga Sutra. This is the last chapter. So he is finishing here. Cheta Shakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is starting here. Chetodhar Paramacha. Okay. So that's what it is. That's the difference. You see? So yeah, that's why he's also, you see, Patanjali is also accepting that Kaivalya Mukti means Swarup Pratishtha. And we are also saying that, but ours is much more clear. Ours is much more clear. See, here is talking about Chit Shakti, right? Cheta. Sat, then comes Chet, and then what comes? Ananda. Yeah.
Sachidananda.
Yeah. So our book starts with that. This is Vedanta Sutra. Anandamaya Abhyasat. This is the very first chapter. It's only the 12th verse. There are 555 verses here, sutras. See where Patanjali Yoga Sutra is finishing and we are picking up. Starting from the Ananda. So it's like on a much, the discussion is going from a much higher platform there actually. Okay. It's not that the, like, should not have any misconception about ourselves. We are sadhakas. Okay. It's like, we are not even close to these yogis. But like our journey goes much higher. That's for sure. So one should not be thinking that, oh, and that's called arrogance. You see, oh, what is this yogis doing? Oh, they are wasting their life. Don't go and challenge a yogi. You will regret. Okay. So go on. 24.
One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on the sides by the mind.
The root or the what you call the root of mental desires is told, material desires. What is material desire born of? Mental speculation. Mental speculation gives rise to material desire. That is given. Krishna said that already in second chapter. Dhyayato Vishaya Pumsa. So only when you start mental speculation does mental desire come into being, material desires. That's why the mind and the mind. The Buddhism says, oh, kill the mind. Neither there will be any mind, nor there will be any desire. The Jnanmargi, using the mind. The yoga, Ashtanga yoga, control the mind. Bhakti, engage the mind. That's it. Everybody deals with the subtle body. You cannot go beyond, like you must first deal with the mind. Whatever form of yogi you are, you have to deal with the mind. Okay. Because that's the mind. If you don't, that's why it said in the previous verses, greatest friend, biggest enemy. You must deal with it. You cannot have a detente kind of okay, fine, let's have a ceasefire. You don't trouble me, I don't trouble you. That's not happening. That's not happening. You have to deal with it. Okay. Gradually, step by step, go on.
Gradually, step by step, One should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
So you see this step by step, it's not abrupt. Similarly in the bhakti also, step by step, one step at a time. If you start like jumping around in yoga, you won't get anything. Similarly in bhakti, step by step. It's like there's step, Shraddha, there's Sadhu Sangha. There's similarly here is Yama, then Niyama. Yam Niyam goes together. And there's Asana. Then like this Pranayam, there's Pratyahara. See, what pranayam we do nowadays, just like this breath, just in and out, that's just to keep the body healthy. But the kind of pranayam it's talking about here, it's like with the asana, it's just forget it. It's just forget it. Yeah. Okay. You see, that's why he is now Prabhupada is talking about pratyahara. This is the definition of pratyahara. By proper conviction and intelligence, what you gradually cease, this is it. Gradually ceasing sense activities. Where is the sense? Where does the sense lie? Where's the place? Where is this? Where's the, yeah, come on, Shubham Prabhu, go on.
The subtle body.
Yes. Remember? So if a person doesn't have any idea of senses, you're talking about sense organs, Baba. It's talking about senses. It's on a much higher plane. Sense organs is for asana. Getting my point? That's why I said that. When you're talking about sense organs, that's asana. You're finding control over sense organs, that's asana. It's a much higher plane now. We're not talking about it beyond the body, gross body now. Much beyond the gross body. Subtle body reaching at the edge. See here, cessation of the senses should be situated in trance. You have to situate yourself. Not that you reach trance. Just like Bhava Bhakti, one is taken to Bhava Bhakti. But here you have to place yourself in Samadhi. Samadhi, and according to some Purana, I am forgetting that. Samadhi means like in the beginning, it means a certain number of hours. See? Just like dharana, it means certain number of minutes. Starts with that. So when you are in the position of samadhi, in the beginning it will last for certain number of hours. Then gradually it will go to certain number of days, certain number of weeks and months and years like that. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam mastiram tato tatastato niyamaya atmani eva vasam nahe. This is the final verse before Arjuna shoots Arjuna is now really scared. You read this. Okay.
From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
That is after he, see, that's what Krishna does. After he tells you the highest, then he comes back to the basic and says, this starts with this. And now Arjuna will be spooked. You will see Arjuna. Yeah. Where is Harshika? Harshika is there or like she has left for the day? For the day, right? All right. I was just wondering, somebody else can read also. Krishna, no, who said that? Komal, try your luck. Okay. All right. Wait. Let me come there. It will really fast now. Okay, this is verse number 27. Okay, this is the last. Let Nishta Mataji finish this 27th verse, and then we will come to the Komal Machi. Okay, the last verse section. Okay. Go on.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds.
This is the highest. This is Zenith. Ashtanga Yogi can reach if he can do his qualitative identity with the Supreme. You see that Paramatma realization kind of thing. That's there, he is there. Certainly the Brahma Bhuta stage. Because it's supreme, so it's like the Brahma stage. It's not still the Paramatma. Still in this verse it's talking about. Let's go to the verse. Prashanta Manasami enam yoginam sukham uttamam. Upaiti shanta rajasam Brahma Bhutam. You see? Clear cut. It's clear cut Brahma Bhuta. Clear cut Brahma Bhuta. Okay. So it's just the highest is the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. What is that? Brahma Bhuta happiness. That's why I said, like, in order to have the touch of Paramatma, there has to be some tinge of bhakti because you are having darshan. You're having darshan. Okay, yes, Dayamaji, go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, here Krishna is saying me. So like,
So that is also me, no? Brahma is also him. Brahma is not different from Krishna. He has to say me. Fixes verily on me, but the concept of me according to him is Brahma Bhuta.
according to me is Krishna.
Yeah, according to you is Krishna, because it's like you are not following the path of Ashtanga Yoga, you're following sadhana bhakti. But we are talking about him, third person, the yogi. Okay. All right. Krishna Priya Mataji.
Hi, then Pranam Prabhuji.
Krishna
My
Prabhuji.
question here is it the Sajyaji Mukti then?
Yes, Sayiji Mukti. Of course, Sayiji Mukti. Sayiji Mukti. Everything terminates in Sayiji Mukti actually. It's like for any other kind of Mukti, you must have the personal understanding of God. You see? All right. So from 28, go on, Nishtamaji.
What is Sahajya Mukti?
These are kind of like, these are like different gradations of Mukti. Even the liberation, there are different gradations. It's like, yeah. We'll get there. We'll maybe get there. During the Bhakti parts, I am pretty sure we'll get there. If not, we will get there when we reach Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay. Komal Maji, ready or is like Harshika back? Is she back? I don't know. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
Prabhuji, I am here.
So here, we like to read. We like to
Yes,
conclude.
yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, please come. Komal Maji, we'll have another luck another time. Okay. Where is she? Okay. This is from verse number 28.
Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord.
Now it's talking about transcendental loving service. You see, it is not Brahma Bhuta anymore. Now it's crossing beyond that. Brahma samsparsham, contact with the Supreme. Samsparsham means to touch the Brahma. You see, he is not realized anymore. He has touched the Brahma. It's a little different now. Okay? Who is in touch with the Supreme Self, you see? That's what Prabhupada is using Although it says only yogi, but what kind of yogi? Touch with the Supreme Self, Paramatma, Brahma Samsparsham, just touched. So when you are touching Krishna, that is the start of Vishnu or Krishna, the start of the edge of devotional service. So it is now going to the Paramatma angle. Okay, now it's going to the Paramatma. You see, Brahma Samsparsha, transcendental contact. 29. Go on, Shikamaji.
A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
You see, not supreme anymore, Supreme Lord. Not supreme truth, not absolute truth, not Brahma, not, you see, it's Supreme Lord, the person. Paramatma now. Now he can see. So reaching beyond. So what happens here? Like either you go to the, as Nishta Maji and Krishna Kishori Maji, I think. No, Krishna Priya Maji. She asked that Brahma Sayuja, but he doesn't. If he is able to touch the Supreme, that means he is continuing, that he is not satisfied with the Brahma Bhuta. Still continuing that journey, a little more time. He sees, he contacts the Supreme with his spiritual senses. Sachidananda, because he's now, so he's touching. What touching is not like touching like this. It's not like touching like this. When we see it's like you see in army, in military parlance, when they say enemy contact. What does that mean? Enemy contact does not mean that you have called the enemy. Enemy contact means you have seen the enemy and you fired on the enemy. That's enemy contact. Enemy has contacted us, or we have contacted the enemy. So you see, when you're saying touching, it doesn't mean touch. It means like you have seen with your senses, all the senses, you have seen Krishna, the Paramatma. There this starts. Okay. All right, good. So now once he can see me within his heart, within the heart of whom? Paramatma is this the heart of whom?
Soul.
The yogi.
Soul. The Paramatma is in the heart of the soul. Okay, of the Atma, super soul. The super soul is in the heart of the soul. So then the super soul, when he can see the super soul in the heart of the soul, then he can see super soul in the heart of every being and everything. Both things and beings. Okay. Go on. Yes, Maji, go on. Harshika, please go on.
For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
See, now this is like exactly Bhakti Yoga kind of thing. Sadhav Hridayamayam, Sadhav Hridayamayam, Maneva Mat Paranaga. What is that verse? Jia, you remember that verse? It's also part of. So it's just, yeah, that when you see the devotee does not know anything except the Krishna, and Krishna doesn't know anything else except the devotee. So this Paramatma yogi is like that. You see, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvameva cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami na cha chame pranashyati. So it's just he cannot see, like it's just like now it's just like heart to heart. It's like heart to heart. You see. Let's see if Krishna Prabhupada quotes something to that effect. Premanjana Charita. Okay, he quotes the Premanjana Charita verse. These are like the most confusing verses. And these are the verses, if you don't understand in the proper sense, they become like those, like Nirvishesh, the Nirvisheshwar, impersonalism verses. Oh, I become God, God becomes me and all that. No, it is talking about a relationship. It's talking about a relationship. It's not talking about like the soul merging into Krishna and Krishna merging into the soul, and they become an indistinguishable lump. It's not like that. It takes two to love each other for a relationship. All right. So that's these are all Sarvabhuta Sthitam Yomam. Prabhupada used to quote these verses. Bhajati ekatvam ashtita. Okay, go on. 31, Ashika Maji.
Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances.
Yeah, within all creatures are one. Okay, so you see, now it is worshipful service. Now the service has started. It's bhakti now. The yogi has become bhakta. You see, he's not yogi anymore. He has become bhakta. If you start service, then it's bhakta. Okay. So what is he seeing? Create now clearly Prabhupada is saying in the purpose. You see, this is it. A yogi who is practicing. Harshika Maji, can you read this? The portion I've highlighted.
Yes, yes. A yogi who is practicing meditation on the super soul sees within himself the plenary portion of Krishna as Vishnu, with four hands holding conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus flower. The yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna.
Okay. So now no more Brahma. No more Brahma. Now you can see the Paramatma, the Vishnu form. The kind of thing that happened to Dhruva. Same kind of thing. Shubham Prabhu, go on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think there is some misprinting the book because some words are not written here. Like the super soul are one, whereas here in the screen which you're showing, it is written super soul within all creatures are one.
Maybe this can be misprint. Maybe. Possible. BBT still has got work to do and not done yet. Yes, Dayamaji, go on.
In my book too, that is not
Yeah,
written.
Yeah, it's like as I said, the BBT has got work to do. Yeah, not done yet. We
Yeah,
will be doing more corrections when we come to get to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There's an entire chapter that needs to be like corrected. Chapter number 6, chapter number 15. Yeah.
Because actually this points out to Nirvisheshwad because it is saying I and the super
Yes,
soul are one.
yes. There are those things needs to be corrected.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
The point is when BBT attempts to do that, everybody gets onto their case. Why are you changing Prabhupada's books? Okay. Yes, Dayamaji.
Prabhuji, he is realizing that Vishnu is also Krishna.
He's not
Okay.
realizing anymore. Beyond realization, he's serving.
Yes, he began service in that same birth or another.
Depends. Maybe in the same birth, in another birth, depends. That's not the point. See, death for us, the death of the body for us is a very big event. But a person who has gone beyond death now, who is on the threshold or situated in liberation, for him it's like left far behind. So death, something is happening, but actually nothing is happening except the change of the body. The soul is changing, you see. So in the transcendental realm, it doesn't matter.
But you said now that in other yoga system, he forget whatever his account of spirituality is there.
True. But because he has not completed, no? Here he has completed. Once you have liberated, then you don't, that's like, then you, that's permanent, that's a permanent gain. Okay,
Thank you.
finished your process, then that, but he, in this case, he has finished his process and going beyond that. The process finishes at Brahma. Now he has reached Paramatma. It's just like bonus. Okay. Yes, it says, hang on with us, you will get to know more, Dayamaji. Okay. Okay, Nishta Maji, go on.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. One, what we have mentioned just now is about liberation. The person is liberated, one thing. And then secondly, we talked about that because of the liberation, because of attaining that Brahman, now the Paramatma realization has taken place. And from verse 31, we have been seeing that worshipful service has started. So if the worshipful service has started, then what exactly is this liberation? Because liberation is meeting something. So when it is not being met, then what this liberation is?
As we said, the worshipful service or devotion or bhakti starts after liberation.
All
Before
right.
liberation, there is only practice. You can only practice bhakti.
All right. So the way you
For
mentioned,
bhakti to start, yeah, for bhakti to start, you must be liberated. You see? So anybody, when we say, oh, so much bhakti, you are only practicing bhakti. Bhakti starts after Bhav Bhakti. So here also he is liberated. When he is liberated, that means he has completely subdued his mind and senses. Then he's liberated from the subtle body. Now in the pure form, he can offer himself. That thing is worshipment or the worshipful service has started. And the worshipful service starts how? By hearing, by remembering, by seeing. Like if you are having darshan of Krishna, that is worship. You see? Why do we go to the temple to have darshan? Because that is worship. It's not that, see, you can have darshan of Krishna and then start offering him flower. That is 1 plus 1. Okay. Chant some prayers is 1 plus 1 plus 1. But you have darshan of Krishna, that's 1. Worship has started. That's the idea. So here he is having darshan of the 400 form of Vishnu, Chirodakshai. So worship has started already. That's it. Okay. All right.
one more question was there. May I please?
Yeah, please go on.
Prabhuji, when we talk about Ashtang Yoga, we have seen that it depends upon the way person is choosing. If they are focusing on Brahma, they will go to Brahma, whereas if they are focusing on Vishnu, then they will go to Paramatma realization. Now, when this worshipful service has started, so this is Shirodakshai Vishnu that we are talking about.
Chirodakshai Vishnu, yes.
So,
So here the bhakti has started actually here.
Bhakti Yoga has started. So from gradually this, they will move towards Krishna, right, Prabhuji?
He can also move towards Vishnu and go to Vaikuntha. Depends.
Okay, so both the ways are there as in. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right, go on, Harshika Maji, verse number 32.
He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna.
So these are the external symptoms now. You see? That he is seeing Paramatma, we cannot, that's not we cannot access that. So if the yogi is seeing Paramatma, how am I to know that? I won't know that. But what I can know is this attitude. This can be traced. Okay. The third person can trace this, but the third person cannot trace when he is having darshan of Paramatma. That is beyond him. But now you will see Arjuna's reaction. That is Arjuna's reaction. Arjuna Vacha. Harshika Mataji, read it in style. It's Arjuna. Read it in style. It has to be read in style.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
It was really read in style. How did you manage to do that? Echo. It was echoing. How was it echoing? Do you have two microphones there? No, only one. Two, one. It was echoing. It was actually read in style.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, that's why. Who else is logged in over there? Somebody-
Vishaka Mataji.
Oh, both of you are sitting there. That's why it was echoing. You see,
Yes.
thank you, Vishaka Maji. So it was actually read it in style. It was echoing, reverb. That's we call it. Like when we play guitar, that's one of those filters, reverb. Why? It has to be. You see, what is he saying? He's saying impractical, unendurable. He's saying impractical. The Krishna is speaking impractical. Now it continues. Please go on. Yeah, please. Chanchalam imana Krishna. Pramati balavidvaram. Tasyaham nigraham manne vayu ivajayishvaram.
Vayureva Sadvesha.
A very, yes, a very popular verse. Read on.
For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
So what was Arjuna saying in the first chapter? Remember? Something about becoming yogi, not fighting. I will become a yogi. I will beg. Now, when he told him how to do that, what is he saying? Yeah. What is he saying? It appears impractical and unendurable. Didn't you ask for that? You see, Krishna is saying, didn't you ask for it? This is like, that's why at that time Krishna was silent. Okay, I'll tell him what it is, what he's asking for. And when he told him what it is, now he said, oh, I can do it. And what is he saying? Now what is he saying? Now he's saying that it's like more difficult controlling the wind. Oh, as if Arjuna can control the wind. Okay, so then you can, so then, like things like that. So yes. So now Krishna will say, Acham sayam hi mahabaho dunigraham jalam abhyasena to kaunteya vairagyena chikriyate. It is indeed. Read on. Sorry. Shayamaji.
Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa actually means practice, means the do, and vairagya means the don't. By suitable do's and don'ts, yes, the mind is very difficult to control. But if you follow the do's and don'ts, can be possible. That's what he's saying. Krishna didn't. Krishna is not hard selling anything. It's too ugly to do that hard selling here, actually. He's telling him as it is. Yes, it is difficult. But if you follow these do's and don'ts, you can get over the mind. Okay, now gradually it will turn towards the bhakti. Now gradually you will see that angle of bhakti you will see. Okay, he will speak something and then you will go to the bhakti part. Okay. Yes. Go on, Harshika Maji.
For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion.
Krishna is saying that is my opinion. Like somebody may want to differ from his opinion. See, here Krishna is giving his opinion. But in other places, Krishna is not giving opinion. It's a fact. Here Krishna is saying it's my opinion. So anybody wants to top that with his opinion? Own opinion. Okay, it's like that. You want to top that with your own opinion? Fine, go ahead. But this is what is Krishna's opinion. Okay, so he's saying that. Krishna, that shows Krishna's humility actually. That's my opinion. As if his opinion is not of much importance. We are concerned about Krishna's opinion actually. Arjuna Vacha, go on.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?
Everybody's question. This is the question like from everybody's side, and what's like going on is like somewhere at the back of his mind, like everybody will think, what happens if I fall down? So Arjuna is also thinking like that. What happens if I fall down? Okay. Or whatever thing I might fall down. Then Krishna will answer. And what will happen to him? Oh Krishna, you see? Go on, 38. Harshika.
O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere?
आए थे हरि भजन को मीठे लागे दाम दुविधा में दोनों गए ना माया मिली ना राम. Okay, this happens there. What happens? What if this happens? You see? So I came for this Krishna consciousness, but this material life it seems sweeter. And whether I should go here or there, duvidha mein dono gaye. I couldn't make up my mind. Na maya mili na ram. Falls away from both its material success. See, because when you are going for this spiritual success, you may give up many of your material aspirations. And then you wouldn't get that as well. So what are you left with? So Arjuna is, like actually now Arjuna is very insecure. You see, the position of an insecure practitioner is taking that position. Yes, this is my doubt. Go on. Sorry, Harshika, please go on.
This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt.
See, Arjuna, Krishna said that is my opinion. But Arjuna is saying, but for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Arjuna has that kind of faith in Krishna. Although Krishna, see, you will see in so many times, this is one of those, you will see Krishna is giving Arjuna the, like the leeway. That if you want, you can leave it. You want, you can have your own way. But every time you see Arjuna is repeatedly with this conversation, Arjuna is getting more and more clear and is getting more and more convinced with Krishna. But this is one of this. Except you, nobody else can, like relieve me of this doubt. And that is the one of those, whenever this devotee, it's like we are having this IDC, like I have to go after this. So in this disciples course, we discuss this. This is the central point. If you think that this person can guide me, he is your guru. If you're not confident that he can guide you, I'm not talking about the whole world. He may guide the whole world. I don't have a problem with that. I'm talking about myself. That's the point. I don't mind how great a guru you are. They should be able to convince me. That's all. That's what I'm concerned about. It's just like the for the girl, the wife, the husband. I don't care who else loves you or not. As long you should be loving me. That's all. The same thing. What do I care anybody else loves you or not? You should be loving me. Similarly, what do I care whether you can convince him or him? You should be able to convince me. That's the point where you surrender. Otherwise, you don't surrender. Don't surrender means you should not surrender. See now what Krishna says. Come on, Hashikamaji, go on.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pratha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
But this is even, the moral thing. This is even morality. One who does good is never overcome by evil. This is even mundane morality. Okay. Nahi chashyet, nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tat gacchati. You see? Kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tat gacchati. He is not. He will not. He will not. Okay. All right. So this is a very important purport. Actually, Prabhupada is talking about here, and where he is quoting this Tyaktva Swadharvam Charman Mujam Hare Bhajanam Apukopatet Tato Yadi Tatra Kwa Bhadra Abushakyam Kwa Vartha Apto Bhajatam Swadharmata. This is Narad Muni. Same answering the same question. Same question is answering the same question. Harshikamaji, please read this part of this translation. This purport, please. This.
If someone gives up all the material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a known devotee may fully engage in his occupational duties and yet not gain anything.
So he won't. What does he get? So it's just actually, I mean, I'm not getting into this, but actually it's one of those verses which all the devotees, the practicing devotees require, very much require. Okay, so what happens? You see, success and like non-success. Go on, Harshikamaji, 41.
The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy.
Yes, Suchinam Shimatam Geha Yoga Brishta Vijayate. You'll find this. See? Suchinam Shimatam Gehe Yoga Brishta Vijayate. Even after many, like Prapya Punya Kritam Lokam. Then he takes birth either into this or this. Righteous people or rich aristocracy. What does that mean? Either a Brahmana family or a good Kshatriya or Vaishya family. Take birth. Okay. So that's them. All right. Go on. Athava. Wow, this is. Go on, Maji.
Vishaka Mataji wants to read.
Oh, why not? Yeah, there are some like last verses. Okay, go on, Vishaka.
Or, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is raised in this world. Is rare in this world.
This is the rarer one. This happens to those who have slightly missed. You see? This happens to slightly missed, narrowly missed. Those who are missed by greater proportion, that is the earlier verse. But this one is like for those who have slightly missed. You are born into the family of the devotees. Okay, that's rare. That might not be so rare when you see members of ISKCON. But what is the comparison of members of ISKCON is in comparison to the population of the world? Just like a pinch of salt. You see, that's rare. And so you see, Prabhupada is, so there are many such Acharya families. Prabhupada is saying that. You see, and you see, he's talking about himself. Both our spiritual master and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families. Who can doubt that? Who can doubt that? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, born in the family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Prabhupada born to Gaur Mohan De, who Prabhupada says was a pure devotee. He writes it there as a dedication to Krishna book. To my father, Gaur Mohan De is a pure devotee of Krishna. We could have discussed something, but anyway. Go on, Vishakamaji.
On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Guru.
Yes, you see, he starts from there. He again starts. And that's why here in ISKCON, it's my personal experience, I've seen certain kids and certain children. You can see them by their face, and yes, you can get an idea. This is not the first time. This is not his first time. It's there. It's okay. Purvabhyasena. Go on. Purvabhyasena. Go on.
By the virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures.
What is that? That is raga. The verse for raga. Always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. He is attracted. You see, that's called raga. This is the verse for rag bhakti, that how the rag bhakti starts, because raga is coming from previous life. Either it is attained in this life or it has been attained in the previous life. And that's why I said that, you see, particular persons will be attracted to particular processes, to the yogic principles. Why? Because he has got that in this previous life. So the samskar is there. You see? Okay. This is raga. Let me see if I can find something like that. No, he's talking about Shabda Brahma. Okay. Go on. Verse number 25, Vishakamaji.
And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
So again, he comes back, again, he does that, and finally he attains it. He never loses it. Never loses it. He washed off himself all those contamination for which he was distracted. Okay. He will again attain many, many births of practice. He won't leave it. He won't leave it. Okay. You see, that's why he's Prabhupada is quoting Yesham Tantagata Papam. Unless and until you are freed from this contamination, you cannot be fixed in bhakti. Yetam to Antagata Papam Jananam Punya Karmana. Now comes the devotion. You see, this is the comparison. I wished if like Hashikamaji read it. Anyway, Vishakamaji, go on.
A yogi is greater than ascetic, greater than the
Empiricist.
empiricist, and greater
Greater
than the
than the
fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances be a yogi.
Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Always become a yogi, you see. Tapasvi, jo adhika yogi. ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि अतिको कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी. All three, either tapasvi or jnani or karmi. The yogi is above all these three. The tapasvi, the jnani, and the karmi. Okay? It is not talking about jnana yoga, karma yoga. Many times people think like that. They explain it like that. And that's not what it is saying. The yogi is beyond the karmi, the jnani, and the tapasvi. Okay? Tapasvi means what? One who is practicing tapasya to gain something. Okay. The jnani who is who is the wise person. Okay. And the karmi who is after fruitive results. Pious, like, okay. So that's why always be a yogi. Be a yogi. Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. So here Prabhupada gives the idea of linking process. You see, this is the general definition. Linking our consciousness. Supreme absolute truth, you see, is not saying supreme personality of Godhead. Supreme absolute truth. Param Satya. Okay. Param Satya. You see. So that is the baseline for all yogis. As we saw. It was not karmi, it was karma yogi, was different. That's why he says this is better than the karmi, the jnani, and the tapasvi. So that's why you become a yogi. So either you become a karma yogi, or you become a jnana yogi, or you become a dhyan yogi, but become a yogi. Don't just become a karmi, don't just become a jnani, don't just become a tapasvi. Okay? Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna, and under all circumstances. You see, now he is talking about, you see, karma yoga, jnana yoga. You see the purport he's talking about. And now it's like bhakti yoga. Now, because he's going to speak about bhakti yoga, you see, here it is saying, this is tapasvi. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Tapasya without self-knowledge. Don't become that. Become a yogi. Empiric knowledge without surrender is also imperfect. That jnani, without that surrender, you won't become a jnani yogi. So it's imperfect. This is Supreme Lord. It doesn't say Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have to be really careful about this, you see. And for to speak of fruitive work without a waste of time is karmi, you see. Is karmi. Okay. Therefore, just like most form of performance. And then there is bhakti yoga. What to speak of this. So now in the last verse, Krishna is speaking. Let's have the last verse, Nishta Maji, and we'll have your question as well. Yoginam, this is one of your memory verses, right? Yoginam avisarvesham matgatena antaratmana shraddhamam bhajate mam yame yuktatama mata. Okay, go on.
And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Krishna says, my opinion. Of course, if you say, anybody says that a person who does this loves me, in my opinion, what does that mean? I have to do that in order to love him. Because that is his opinion. Krishna is, you see, is very clever. He says, you see, you want to love me, these are the things you need to do. Because that's my opinion. Of course, it's my opinion, But that's what everything is. Straight. Okay. Yes, Nishtamaji, go on.
Prabhuji, in verse number 46, we discussed about supreme absolute truth, that is Param Satya, right? So, if for a person to be yogi, they have to have this supreme absolute truth. Prabhuji, what
As a
exactly?
baseline. That's the baseline. Any yogi, karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi. In order to qualify yourself as a yogi, either karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana. Otherwise, you are karmi, jnani yogi, and tapasvi.
Prabhuji, I have a little difficulty in remembering Hindi and Sanskrit words. So, will you be able to help once again? What is Param Satya as in?
Karma yogi and the karmi. What is the difference? Yoga means the linking process.
Thinking process.
So if you are aware of the concept of supreme absolute truth, which means Param Satya, then only you can qualify your work to the level of karma yoga. Otherwise, it will remain karmi, karma kanda, fruity worker. The karma kandi cannot become a karma yogi unless and until he links that work to offer the result of the work to supreme absolute truth.
It's about having the knowledge of existence of Brahm, right? And then slowly.
Yes, yes,
Right? Okay, Prabhuji.
just that. And because he has the knowledge of the existence of Brahma, he offers it to the Brahma. You see, otherwise, if he doesn't offer it to the Brahma, it still doesn't, that means he's still on the path. He hasn't met the criteria of the baseline of the yogi. Okay, that's what it is. Similarly, if he's on the Janman, he's speculating. But the target of the speculation is not Brahma. So he's still a Jnani, but he is not a Jnani yogi. In order to graduate from the Jnani to the Jnani yogi, he has to link that with the target of Brahma. And somebody is an ascetic, is a tapasvi, he's doing some tapasya. But you can do so many kind of tapasyas. Okay. But the tapasya is not like tapasya is done for siddhi. Okay. So then he is not a yogi yet. I am doing tapasya, just for example, Vaksiddhi. Okay. So you can do some certain kinds of tapasyas. And so you see sometimes these big, very popular Bhagavad speakers, thousands of speakers, people will be listening to them with rapt attention. A few of them have got Vaksiddhis. They go and do this tapasya by which they attain the Vaksiddhi. Of course, the Vaksiddhi is not permanent. No siddhi is permanent. So if you don't go again and repeat the tapasya, you will lose the Vaksiddhi. You have to keep continuing that. So you do that, so that's Vaksiddhi. You get the siddhi, but you are not a yogi. You are a tapasvi. So during that tapasya, if the object of that tapasya is linked to the supreme absolute truth, then you are yogi.
Right.
And this was the last, that was the tipping point where you have reached absolute devotional service. So from next week, we'll start with devotional service. 7 to 12 is like you see the devotional service, various aspects of that. Okay. And with that, we conclude this section. And thank you very much for your participation. I hope that, yes, Dayamaji, go on. Parting question? Dayamaji?
Hare Krishna, there's question. Prabhuji, in purport of 15, it is written, a consummate yogi who is perfect in understanding Lord Krishna, as is clearly stated herein by the Lord himself, can attain real peace and can ultimately reach his supreme abode, Krishna Loke. So, like,
Yes.
Prabhupada in Jnana Yoga, it is full of Krishna consciousness in purport. Here
That's
it
what
is
I'm
talking
saying.
about
It's always like
sadhaka
that.
or a yogi that is following Ashtanga Yogi.
It is whatever the yogi is, if he's transcending that. See, here what he is Prabhupada is, you see, mat chitta, mat para, mat sthanam. These are the words which is like directly for Krishna. But if the understanding of Krishna is not Krishna but Brahma,
Hmm.
so then like the same thing, that translates for Brahma. If the same thing is like the mat, because the mat word can be interpreted as Vishnu, as Krishna, as Brahma, as different. So according to the interpretation, the value of that word and the destination changes. If the same interpretation is applied for Krishna, you go to Krishna Lok. If the same interpretation is applied for Brahma, you attain Brahma Sayujya. Okay, liberation. If the same interpretation is applied for Paramatma, you start your, was that? Transcendental service. It's like that. Same thing. It's the same thing. It's just like everybody is into lumps. So after you go to lump, somebody is going, like somebody's going for the lab, somebody's going for the DPT, somebody's going for MBBS.
Different departments.
Yeah, that's how. Okay,
Got
that's
it.
how it works. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So with this, I beg your beg to leave now. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I hope people will be clear about your closed book assessments, dates and everything. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. I heard there was some confusion. So if it is clear, that's good. And you have 2 questions as for your OBA and the shlokas, what you have. Okay. All right. Good luck with that. Hare Krishna. Don't be puzzled. And if you find anything difficult, please contact us. Okay. Please feel free to contact us. Don't leave Bhakti Shastri unless and until it is very difficult. Okay. We'll try to like accommodate that. All right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna.
So much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone.